Not a bad view from your hotel, huh?
Starting off day 2. About to head into Death Valley. Looking forward to this. Having been there many times before.
We've done 392 miles so far in this 15-day adventure. Day 2 takes us to the Ghost Town of Rhyolite, then to Beatty, Nevada, down to Death Valley Junction, and back to Death Valley to see some key attractions before heading back to Beatty for the evening.
I think we got about 80 miles to Stovepipe Wells, which is where I'm gonna make my first stop. Oh, looks like Garmina conveniently rebooted on me. Lost the route. Fortunately, I knew this was my turn. Today's Easter, but the ranger station will be open in Stovepipe Wells 7 days a week. My annual pass expired a few months ago, so I'm going to pick up a new one. I'm leaving fashionably late this morning because it was cold. It's about 47 degrees. It's warming up. You know, I think we might get close to 60 today at Death Valley, which quite honestly will be the coldest Death Valley I've ever been to. I mean, usually I go there in February. It's 85, 90 degrees. You know, one time I was coming down this road, geez, probably a good 15 years ago. They had blocked traffic up ahead a bit, CHP and everything. Apparently there was a commercial being filmed off the road, maybe a half mile or so or whatever. They didn't want cars in the picture, so they would stop occasionally. But I was like, hey, they need a motorcyclist? I'll work cheap. Just throw my name in the credits. Badass motorcyclist.
Current national park rules prevent me from posting video taken in the park on social media, so I've taken some creative measures to show you the sights. Father John C. Crowley was a Catholic minister based out of Lone Pine in the 1930s, who often stopped here.
That's my baby. Oh, nice. Sweet. There was an eagle up there. I caught it out of my peripheral, which means the camera didn't see it. I know, picture it didn't happen. Yeah, it was the most majestically awesome bald eagle. And he reached out with a wing, gave me a thumbs up with one of those feathers that sticks out. It was cool. It was like, yay, brother, right on. Great channel, I subscribe. And if you haven't, you should consider doing it too. Because we do stuff like this whenever we can. I have never seen blooms in Death Valley. Always came too early. You got the little kids out there. Oh, they look like they're about 7. Just left Stovepipe Wells. Bought my annual pass. Got the mesquite dunes here off to the left. The bright orange thing there is my parking permit. The Devil's Cornfield. Unusual plants. As I recall, those plants are parasitic or something. Nothing else grows near them pretty much. Antisocial. Does not play well with others. Come on, Kurt. Downshift ahead of time. Don't get distracted. You've been riding for over 40 years. You think you'd have it down by now. A little bit of gravel there. Titus Canyon, which is closed. I am saddened to discover that Scotty's Castle is still closed. Fantastic place. Very interesting backstory.
Scotty's castle is named for gold prospector Walter Scott, who never owned it, nor is it a castle. Scotty convinced Albert Johnson, a Chicago insurance magnate, to invest in a fraudulent gold mine in Death Valley. Eventually, Johnson found this out, but the climate in Death Valley was good for his health, and he struck an unlikely friendship with Scott. Construction of the castle began in 1922, and this proceeded until 1931, when it was discovered it was accidentally built on federal land. Combined with the Great Depression, this meant the castle was never completed. Johnson was 75 when he died in 1948, and Scotty passed away in 1954 at the age of 81 and was buried at the top of a hill that overlooks his legacy. Scotty's castle has been closed since 2015 due to floods and, more recently, a fire in the visitor center and garage. I wanted to visit Scotty's castle on this trip,
but there's some nasty floods and stuff, and Death Valley is subject to flash flooding, and it does a lot of damage just for the nature of its very geography. It is literally a drain. Badwater is basically the circle at the bottom of the bathtub. Beautiful rock at that mountainside there, especially with the lighting on it right now. Very dramatic. Tiny's Canyon, okay. That's a popular ADV route. Rhyolite. Historic town site. 1.5 miles ahead. Information ahead. That building's seen better days. So have all of these.
The Ghost Town of Rhyolite sprang out of the adventures of gold prospectors in 1904. They found quartz full of gold, and before long there were over 2,000 claims within 30 miles. The town was born and started to immediately boom with the construction of buildings including a stock exchange, railway station, hotels, stores, a school for 250 children, a hospital, red light district, and even an ice cream parlor in 1907 when electricity came to Rhyolite. The population surged to between 3,500 and 5,000 at its peak. But a financial panic in 1907 started the decline of the town. Businesses and mines began to close, and by 1910 only 611 residents remained. Electricity was shut down in 1916, essentially sounding the death knell for Rhyolite.
The bank building has definitely seen better days. I wonder what it was in the middle of that building that's still standing reasonably well. Overbury Building. HD and LD Porter. Built in 1906, so 118 years ago. But it looks like it was built 318 years ago. These things just fell apart. This is the schoolhouse. Oh, okay.
The Goldwell Open Air Museum is home to a variety of sculptures.
Ah, yes, the pixelated sculpture of the blonde, the nude blonde. Here we go. Our first view of the town of Beatty, Nevada. Now, the speed limit of 25 here is pretty darn low. I mean, that's not unusual in towns and whatever, but like, we haven't even really got into town yet. There are some mules that wander around this town. I did see them last time I was here. Kind of hoping I'll catch a glimpse of the old mules. $250 miles still. I'm headed south on US 95. gas station options are limited. If you count on, like, I can make it to Furnace Creek. I have 180 miles to go, maybe 170 at this point. So it's kind of iffy as to whether or not I can make it on one tank. It's close, borderline. And at these speeds, probably not. So if the gas station in Furnace Creek is closed, kind of hosed, I will top off. Yeah, we got some long stretches of mind-numbing straightness. I'm here at Death Valley Junction. It's mostly known for the hotel and the Amargosa Opera House. Now, the gal that ran the Opera House died a few years back, unfortunately. But apparently, there's some pretty cool old-style, like, vaudevillian shows that she put on at the Opera House right there.
In the tradition of Martha, a non-profit continues to put on shows.
But you can see they had a lot of rooms. Oh, my phone just fell out. Oh my God. That would have been bad. I put it in the pocket, but I guess I forgot to zip it up. Whew. Close. Wow. It fell out and landed on my leg and somehow did not launch. What a day. See the big cow. That sucker's got to be 10 feet tall. I'm not going to get off, though. I'm time pressed. Dark clouds right over those mountains there. It's like Mordor. Expect to see the Eye of Sauron or something. So I'm on the road to Dante's View. Kind of interesting seeing greenery on that hill out in the middle of the desert and all. Apparently there was snow up at Dante's View recently, like within the last few days. Oh yeah. Nice. Woo-hoo. Yeah. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yeah. Wow, what a view. Oh, whoa. There's water down there. They had boating for a while, but they closed it. Taking a look at the expansive view here of Death Valley. There's a fair amount of water in Badwatrer Basin right now. Beautiful greenish color to it today. Looks like it might be raining over there. Whee! Woohoo! Good place to practice your trail braking. Sure you won't pull over for me. Oh, what do you know? Awesome. Maybe he's meeting his Frau bathrooms. Sucker, you should have gone before you left. And now we get to go down the twisty section. You can see the grin on my face right now. See Zabriskie Point right there. A bunch of people walked up to it. Next up, Badwatrer Basin, which we looked at from Dante's View. They really need to repaint these lines. Wow. All the greenery. See the sign way up there? It says sea level.
Badwatrer Basin is the lowest point in North America at 282 feet below sea level. On the floor of the basin are crystals of salts and minerals that are washed down to the basin from the surrounding mountains and hills.
It's time to head down Artist Drive. I forgot about this part. This dip is awesome. Well, it looks like I was at Artist Palette about, 15, maybe 30 minutes late. I mean, hey, it's not like I can post any video of this stuff anyway. I can only do stills or I risk getting fined. The national parks has gotten greedy. But there's a bill that's in the Senate that might change that.
Please consider contacting your senator to express your support of the Explore Act, which would ease these restrictions.
A lot of colors. Furnace Creek, the ranch at Death Valley.
Mining was what drove early growth in Death Valley, particularly borax mining.
Riding in Death Valley after sunset. Tradition. In the past, I've often stayed in Beatty because it's cheaper, although it is 45 minutes away. I am sore and I am ready to get off this bike. What a nice day riding though. Oh man, the number of times I have ridden this road in the dark. When I could see the outlines of the mountains, but that's about it. Darmina, you haven't crashed. Quite a while. Kinda thought we'd see the lights of Beatty by now. And there we go. My God, I'm speeding? Really? Could almost get out and run faster. Welcome. There you go. Thank you, Garmina. You did better today. Kinda. There were spots where you did really badly. Or maybe I was just impatient. Probably a little of both.
The clerk at the Atomic Inn recommended the VFW for dinner, and I was not disappointed.
These onion rings are some of the best onion rings I've ever had. Oh God, they're good.
Consider giving us a like and subscribe, so you'll know when the next Southwestern Safari episode is available.
Oh, yeah. Highly recommended. I can't even close the bun. It's a tiny bun for this, which is great because I don't want too much bread, but it's great. This is so oversized. It's for the bun. It's hilarious. I tore the top off. It works. It's tasty.
Next time in episode 3 of the Southwestern Safari, Hoover Dam and the Valley of Fire. Right here on Ride On.